It isn't Bennett.
His version of the thing was incredibly sophisticated visual effects. They don't get better. Talk to the people that did those effects back again in film school again. They were incredibly inventive, and they were doing things that you look at them and you go, man, that when I watched it again last night. I watched the thing again last night, and it's shockingly grotesque and bizarre in its presentation of what the thing is. Like you don't get a better thing than the thing. The thing was there'll never be a better thing. It is really
no.
But then you go 5 years later, you would think that level of visual sophistication would have sort of. But I guess the budgetary constraints and the schedule and stuff just made it so that they did. But as you said, there's nothing really lacking in They Live. It's just maybe I expected something that was more sophisticated, like The Thing. I don't know.
It makes sense, and I can see why your expectations are there. I mean, The Thing is another very smart movie, and that had Universal Pictures behind it. They had a year of prep on that. Oddly enough, our studio, before it was wrecked for Nintendo Land on the Universal Studios backlot, was the same office where they did post-production on The Thing, next to Stage 12, where they shot all the interior kennel scenes. So we were always mystified because on the wall of the stage is the plaque with all the movies. So a little bit of research, when they see The Thing 1982, you go, what was shot on this stage? Because I think they utilized a few of the stages. So, obviously,
those kennels, the kennels, like the kennels in The Thing,
incredible.
They're just like, just again for the audience, there was a dog that is being chased at the opening of the. They're being chased by a bunch of Norwegians in a helicopter that are shooting at it. And it kind of goes wrong, and the poor and you're sort of rooting for the dog, of course, but the Norwegians accidentally crash and explode. I'm just skipping over to and then that dog becomes a friend of of this other outpost that they witnessed. This American outpost in Antarctica witnessed the Norwegian helicopter go down. So the dog comes in, and they eventually put it into the kennel. And of course, there's a lot of arguments about why you only put it in the kennel tonight. Why did you put it in the kennel yesterday when it came in here? How long were you with the dog by yourself? I don't know, a couple of minutes, maybe an hour. It's the creepiest horror movie structurally that I can think of. It's great movie,
right?
Great.
Oh, without a doubt. And screenwriter Bill Lancaster on that, like, thread all these like rich elements of, like, exactly like you say, like Blair being like, you telling me you didn't put this thing in the kennel until last night? Like, all these things that raise suspicion on each character, and and the element of the dog going into a room where you only see the silhouette of a man that's probably about to get attacked. And then you and I have a lot of these conversations where you don't have a movie if your characters don't do this, but we always express our frustration, like, Ash, why'd you open the goddamn airlock? Well, again, you don't have a movie if he doesn't do it. But the same with The Thing, where they go to the Norwegian camp and they see, like, the burned out Two-Face guy, and he's like, hey, let's bring this thing back to the lab. I'd be like, no. No, but you have to bring it back, and just like you have to take the dog in, you have to.
But they deal with it that way too. They're like, no, and then cut to they're unwrapping this burnt up thing in their lab, and they're looking at it, going, "What is this thing? I don't know."
Yeah. We found this.
Jesus Christ.
Blair, I'd like you to start an autopsy right away.
And
Yeah, that dog. Oof, that dog.
you know what's it's a great example of both John Carpenter's directorship, but also the script, where every time they put a lid on it or try to govern the situation, it spirals out of control again. Like they get through the blood test with all the shock and, you know, the concussion that was. Then they decide they're going to go out and give Blair the task, but they're going to leave Childs inside to guard the door and be like, well, hold up, hold up, hold up. We're not splitting up. We just got like the leadership kind of unravels at that point, and you're just like, the decisions here. Hold on. you know,
But that's
so
and that's really, if I were to look at They Lived, I would say this is a political movie, really largely
right.
about, and it's a great political movie because it doesn't feel like one really. It just feels
Yeah.
like there's aliens invading. The Thing, I would say, is a monster that is conjured out of our mistrust for each other. Like you have this group of individuals that don't know who in their group has been infected by the Thing, and
Right.
this turns it into, you were just saying, the first thing you were saying, like the leadership is like out of control, like it's fracturing and it's breaking up, and no one knows what to do, and they're all arguing and they're fighting, and that's it. The blood test was definitely a good example of that. That was
Yeah.
was
And
moment where everyone is, I'm looking at you and you're looking at me, and we're saying who's got the virus. And interestingly, when I was in London working on The Witcher, and there was rumors of this virus spreading around, and we decided that we wanted to do, because everybody would look at one another. We were supposed to wear masks and stuff. I had bought a whole bunch of masks. No one on the crew wanted to wear them. Christopher, our lead from Game of Thrones, was actually in The Thing, but not. It was the remake of The Thing in 2011. But anyway, we were starting to build a little script. We were going to build like who has the disease, who has the virus, because we knew numerically there was someone in that group of 200 or 300 people that probably had the virus. Right? So and he wanted to play along, and we were going to restructure some scenes from The Thing,
right.
during COVID. And we thought that was really funny. Then suddenly, almost a day later, it wasn't funny because Christopher had the virus, and we were all on our way back to California, on an airplane, because they'd sent us all home. It was pretty crazy. Anyway, that's a side story that didn't sell very well, but there it is.
No.
Hello, my name is Simon Williamson. Help us find a cure for NMOSD, neuromyelitis optica spectrum disorder, and with it, cancer. Please go to the Guthrie Jackson Foundation and donate if you can.